Most people spend their entire lives trapped inside a comfort zone they built themselves. They only do the things they already know. They chase what feels easy, predictable, safe, and they tell themselves it's smart, that they're just focusing on their strengths. But here's the truth no one likes to admit. If you only do what you're good at, you'll never outgrow who you are right now. Growth is not a byproduct of comfort. It's a byproduct of friction, of doing what feels awkward, uncertain, and out of reach. Every skill you admire in someone else was once something they were terrible at. Every strength you see today was once a weakness they refused to avoid. Think about it. When you first learned to walk, you fell hundreds of times, but you didn't stop walking because you weren't good at it. You didn't say, maybe walking just isn't my thing. You kept trying because something inside you understood. Falling was part of learning. Somewhere along the way, you forgot that truth. You started avoiding the fall. You started protecting your ego instead of expanding your limits. You stopped doing things that made you feel clumsy, unqualified, or slow. You started saying things like, that's not really my talent, or I'm just not built for that. But let me ask you, how do you know what you're built for if you never test the limits? You see, people love to say they want to reach their potential, but potential isn't something you reach. It's something you create through discomfort. You don't discover your limits sitting in the safe zone of what you already know. You discover them by walking straight into the unknown. Look at anyone you admire, the artist, the entrepreneur, the athlete, the speaker. They all started below average. They all looked ridiculous in the beginning. The difference is they didn't stay there. They didn't let the fear of being bad stop them from becoming great. And that's the trap most people fall into. They mistake skill for destiny. They think, I'm only good at this, so this must be what I'm meant to do forever. But sometimes your talent isn't your path. It's your starting point. You can't let what you're good at become a cage that keeps you from what you're capable of. Comfort has a way of disguising itself as wisdom. It whispers, stick to what you know. It convinces you that staying where you're skilled is efficient, logical, even smart. But efficiency doesn't create transformation. Comfort doesn't create greatness. The best version of you exists on the other side of frustration, failure, and uncertainty. The uncomfortable truth is this. The things you avoid are often the very things that would change you the most. That project you keep postponing because you don't feel ready, that's the one that would stretch you into someone new. That conversation you're afraid to have, that's the one that would build your courage. That new skill you think you're too old or too late to learn, that's the one that would expand your mind. You don't grow by protecting your pride. You grow by risking it, by being okay with looking foolish for a while, by being bad before you're good, by trying things that make you feel small, so one day they'll make you feel powerful. The process is always ugly before it's beautiful, but that's the price of evolution. You can't sculpt a stronger version of yourself without breaking the old one apart. And yes, that means you'll fail. You'll look stupid, you'll get frustrated, you'll question whether you're good enough. But that's how growth feels. It's not supposed to be comfortable. It's supposed to stretch you to the point where you can't recognize yourself anymore. Let me tell you something real. The moment you start doing things you're bad at, the world starts opening up. Because suddenly you're not chasing perfection. You're chasing progress. You stop caring about looking good, and you start caring about becoming better. You stop waiting to feel ready, and you start acting your way into readiness. There's something deeply freeing about being a beginner again. When you're a beginner, you're alive. You're curious. You're humble enough to learn and hungry enough to grow. But when you're only doing what you already mastered, you're dying slowly. Because repetition without challenge is stagnation disguised as success. Ask yourself honestly, when was the last time you tried something that made you feel stupid? When was the last time you struggled, failed, and kept going anyway? If it's been a while, maybe that's why you feel stuck. People say, find your strengths and stay in your lane. But the truth is, growth doesn't happen in lanes. It happens in collisions. When you collide with fear, when you collide with doubt, when you collide with something that humbles you, that's where transformation begins. It's not about abandoning what you're good at, it's about expanding beyond it. Your strengths are a foundation, not a finish line. Use them as a launch pad to explore new territory. Let your curiosity lead you to new skills, new challenges, new discomfort. Because every time you step into the unknown, you give yourself permission to evolve. The most dangerous comfort zone isn't the one that feels miserable. It's the one that feels fine, the one that doesn't hurt enough to make you change, but numbs you just enough to make you stop trying. That's where potential goes to die. Not in failure, but in quiet complacency. You might say, but what if I try and fail? You will. But failure isn't the opposite of growth. It's the raw material of it. You need failure the same way your muscles need resistance. Without it, you stay weak. You stay the same. You stay safe, but small. If you want to become more, you have to be willing to look like less for a while. If you want mastery, you have to embrace the messiness of being an amateur. If you want evolution, you have to destroy the version of yourself that's afraid to be seen learning. The truth is, most people never outgrow themselves because they stop doing the things that scare them. They stop being students. They start performing instead of progressing. But life is not a performance. It's a process. And the only way to stay alive in that process is to keep doing things you don't yet know how to do. So stop protecting your image. Stop waiting until you feel confident. Stop telling yourself that staying where you're skilled is smart. The smartest thing you can do is stretch. Try something that makes you uncomfortable. Do something you might fail at, because the person you want to become is hidden behind the things you're currently avoiding. Every time you step into something new, you teach your mind, I can handle uncertainty. Every time you push beyond what you're good at, you teach your heart, I'm stronger than I thought. And every time you fall and get back up, you tell your future, I'm still becoming. That's how you outgrow yourself, not by polishing what's already perfect, but by building what doesn't exist yet. Not by repeating what's familiar, but by daring to look foolish for the sake of something greater. If you only do what you're good at, you'll stay who you are. But if you start doing what you're bad at, you'll discover who you could be.